MyOutdoorTV is your home for every Major League Fishing 2024 event.
Yes, sir.
Including the General Tire Team Series.
I put the team on my back, baby.
Watch free on MyOutdoorTV with promo code MLF30.
Hey, we're gonna whack them today.
We're tied for first. Weights are zeroed. We just need a big old bag of bass today to win that trophy.
Biggest five of the day are gonna win, and that's the cool thing about it. Everybody's at zero.
I think today's even gonna be better. This water temperature's changing, the weather's changing, they're gonna bite.
Really feel good about going and getting started earlier with the fish biting.
I'm figuring out the little morning bite, I think, is so key. I'm gonna work real hard to try to get a couple of big ones there.
Yesterday, it just seems like the fish got a little bigger, so hoping to go back in there and there'll be some more big ones moved up.
On a lake like this, it can absolutely happen. We may see some fireworks at the weigh-in.
I feel like I got a pretty solid thing going. I'm catching a lot of fish.
I haven't hit the majority of the stuff that I've got, so I'm fixing to burn it all down today.
Yeah, we're in Texas, so why not have just an old-fashioned Texas shootout?
Whoever can catch those Rayburn giants is gonna come out on top.
All right, time to go.
And they are off on Sam Rayburn Reservoir.
Baby! Yeah! Going to fish tomorrow. That's the winning fish.
A full bass limit! Wow!
This is Major League Fishing's Tackle Warehouse Pro Circuit presented by Fuel Me. Guaranteed rates, Stop One, Sam Rayburn, presented by Arc Fishing. Sunrise on Big Sam, this gigantic fishery in East Texas where everything is just a little bit bigger. Day 2 was canceled due to high winds, so these weight totals through day 3 represent just 2 days of fishing. Of course, the order of this leaderboard only matters in terms of momentum because weights are zeroed to start this championship round. That's a brand new wrinkle this season on the Tackle Warehouse Pro Circuit. Cut down from a field of 158, these 10 anglers start from scratch today. Spencer Sheffield out on the water. Over to Josh Butler now.
Let's do it.
How about a check-in with the guy that had a great first couple of days, including catching a 10-6, which is still the biggest bass caught all week, and that is Jeff Bridges.
I'm starting on a hard spot this morning, and it's an area that doesn't get a lot of traffic. So we hit it yesterday for maybe 45 minutes, caught 3, left it, and we're gonna, hopefully these fish won't beat up so much like the rest of the fish on the lake, and that's kind of what I'm hoping for. And mainly came here too to get a quick limit, settle myself down and go catch a big one. That's, numbers of fish are here, a lot of numbers are here, so hopefully they'll cooperate and we can catch them.
So interesting, Marty, we have talked about this week. Big Sam hasn't necessarily been Big Sam, but the early morning bite has been there each day. Josh Butler said, I've basically got 20 minutes all day long, and then it's a challenge for me. So, could this thing be decided in the first 30 minutes to an hour this morning?
Yeah, this lake is not fishing typical. It truly isn't. But the common denominator for the guys that are having success, it's either they're catching the numbers or someone like Dylan Hayes caught the big one right off the bat. It's due. The weather's stacking up. JT will talk about that later. But I do believe an angler this morning can land on a spot in the first 1 hour, make this thing an afterthought, because the big ones seem to bite early.
Yeah, Randy Despino's 20-pound bag yesterday was the biggest bag all week, and I don't think anybody thought that would be the case coming in this week. But it hasn't necessarily been because of the weather. The only day we had bad weather, we didn't fish because of the gusty winds 2 days ago. Stable weather throughout the week. JT, the water should be a little warmer. It didn't get as cold overnight. So what's the weather look like? How does it impact today?
Well, I really think the weather is going to impact today, Chad. We had about a 10-degree difference. It was 10 degrees warmer this morning than it was yesterday morning. That may have an effect on a couple of the guys that are fishing pretty shallow, but not a lot of the guys are fishing in that a shallow enough situation where that warm night might make a big difference. The guys, Josh Butler, you know, a lot of those guys, they're fishing out there a little deeper. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you they're fishing in 20, 25, 30 feet of water. They may catch 1 or 2 that deep, but a lot of them are out there that's 6, that 10. And I just don't think one night being 10 degrees warmer than the night before is really gonna make that much difference. I think what we're gonna see today is gonna be very similar to what we saw yesterday, and that was a lot of guys catching a lot of bags in that 13 to 15 pound range. I think the guy that catches that 1 or 2 big Sam Rayburn bass are gonna be the ones that take home that $100,000.
Lower weights this week make it look like this thing could come down to ounces. Michael Neal was the story yesterday afternoon when he showed up at the weigh-in. He became a guy who has a chance now to go back-to-back. He won the final event on the Bass Pro Tour a season ago, and kicking off 2022, he caught more fish, more weight than anybody over the first 2 days of competition here. Oh, by the way, he's the reigning angler of the year on the Tackle Warehouse Pro Circuit as well. And before he set sail this morning, he spent a few moments with our Chris Jones.
It is Championship Sunday, and I caught up with the Tackle Warehouse clear leader, Michael Neal, over 33 pounds in the first 2 days of competition. And that guy right there is on fire. He comes into this season as the reigning defending angler of the year, got all the momentum, had a Bass Pro Tour win last year. Dude, you are catching them. And this is Championship Sunday, man. What's going on in the mind of the best in the game right now, Michael Neal?
You know, we're not seeing the typical Rayburn weights. We're not seeing those big 20 to 30, even 40-pound stringers that this lake's famous for, but I think it's going to change today. We got a lot less pressure, a lot less of us. We've all been sharing water to some extent, I think, and these fish haven't been having any stable weather. And today they're going to have some warm, sunny conditions. So I think we're going to see some things change. But like you said, momentum is a big deal, and everybody's going out on the same playing field. So whoever gets, you know, a couple of those 6+ pound bites, I think that's going to be the guy that comes out on top.
Are we going to see the big Rayburn bass today, the big bags?
I think we will. I think we'll see 2 bags over 20. I think we just had 1 bag the last 2 days, but I think you'll see a shootout between 2 or 3 guys today right there, all in the mix for the win.
All right, thank you, Chris. Thanks to Michael as well. Here are the rules for Stop 1 on the Tackle Warehouse Pro Circuit. Days 1 and 3, remember day 2 got wiped out by Mother Nature. Combined weight got you through here. We've gone from 158 down to 10 for today. We didn't have 158 down to 50 and then down to 10. It's only 10. And the key ingredient, your weights are back at 0. Nothing. And you don't have a score tracker out there to let you know. You just got to catch as many as you can and as big as you can. But isn't that what bass fishing is all about, JT?
Absolutely.
Day 2 was about birdies, not fish, as the anglers had a day off to hit the links. Joey Cifuentes showing off his swing there. The Texas winds settled down on day 3, though, so all 158 anglers were able to fish again in pursuit of a spot in the final 10 to fish in the championship round. Let's meet our final 10 and learn how they're approaching this final day.
Every day I go out there, I look at it the same way. I want to catch as much weight as I possibly can, especially with the weather delay this time and with everybody zeroing. Everybody didn't get to put as much pressure on their fish, so I knew I was in a good area. My strategy was just to go out there and put as many fish in the boat as I could.
17 pounds and 1 ounce. Josh Bragg getting it done on day 2.
Spencer Shupfield looks to have forged his way into the top 10.
Seemed like the weights maybe were a little tougher. A lot of local pressure out there today, and a lot of them areas them guys caught them, I'm sure had a lot to do with it. I knew since it was no top 50 cut, we were going straight to the 10. I ran and gunned a lot more today. I tried to hit everything I had. I had somewhere between 350 waypoints on brush piles. I feel like I probably hit 100 of them. So it feels good to come out here this week and get a good finish.
Spencer Shuffield catching the kickers on day 3. A legend in this game from Madison, Mississippi is Pete Ponce.
Oh, there he is. Earlier today, I would have loved to have him, but right now, he's not going to help us.
That's pretty good fish to not help.
Oh, there he is.
Yep, that one doesn't help. He's got a good bag.
Come here, boy.
I think Pete's in pretty good shape.
He's probably going to be on the smaller side. We're going to check him to see.
Pete Ponce, the veteran pro.
Dylan Hayes, do you think he's done enough?
He's got one really good one in the box. We know that. Another one right there. Good opening day for this young man.
Look at the colors on that dude, man. He is cool. That feels like a good one. That's a keeper to get rid of the spotted bass. All right, we rolling. See y'all later.
Dylan Hayes, the last one to weigh in today, and he is tied for first going out on Championship Sunday.
Randy Despino began the day in 49th place.
I'm sitting there looking here at the bio, 11 top 10s. 6 of those are right here at Rayburn.
I've been in a tour for, 3 years now, and I've struggled. So it's just great to be here. I've settled down, and I feel like I'm a seasoned in it now, and I'm ready to go.
Randy Despino, I'll see you on the stage on Championship Sunday.
Well, with the shortened event, you know, it definitely puts more emphasis on day 2. Doesn't matter if you have a big lead, you got to go out and catch the biggest bag of the day to win the tournament.
Yeah, and he's got a good track record on this lake.
That guy's so good he doesn't even have to fish.
No, he
Just
can
lays
catch
the rod down.
That's what I'm
catch
talking
him
about.
without looking.
I think I'm going to start on my brush piles and try and get a quick limit. And then I think I'm going to spend the rest of the day shallow in the grass, try and get those 2 or 3 4 to 6 pound bites, and that bumps you way up that leaderboard and maybe take home the win.
He's got him on a drop shot, a crankbait. Saw him catch some on a vibe jig. He's got a lot of options.
Evan Barnes ever closer to a top 10 finish and the chance to win $100,000.
Having the day cut to just the top 10 actually helped me out a lot. Now I don't have an extra day that I've got to go burn my fish. I'm pretty excited about the 0 thing just because I've barely hit anything that I've got, maybe only 25% of the stuff that I'm actually wanting to fish in those areas. And so I'm super excited. Hopefully I can just burn them all down tomorrow and catch some really good ones.
6-pounder for Evan Barnes.
Chungosaurus Rex.
Absolutely.
I think with all the traffic, including our traffic, we're looking at about 500-600 folks on the water today. We're gonna jockey around, we're gonna hit all the spots I've located, and I really feel like that we can put together a solid sack of fish to get us to tomorrow.
He was taught how to fish this lake by some of the best old hands on the lake.
Yes, sir. I worked my tail off for that limit. Feels great.
Jeff Bridges caught a 10-6 beast.
It's a Bassosaurus Rex.
Indeed, sir. Josh Butler was in good shape to start the day.
He understands this lake, and he's going to be patient with it, let the bite come to him.
Go big or go home. I mean, you either catch them or you don't. I mean, yeah, I can go play it safe, try to catch 10, 12 pounds. No, I got to go out with a mindset to catch 20, 25 pounds tomorrow. I mean, it's Rayburn. Anybody can pull up and catch 30 pounds.
Double fisting in the AM. Nothing wrong with that. That makes getting your limit a little bit easier.
How about that? 2 at a time.
Reigning Tackle Warehouse Pro Circuit Angler of the Year, Michael Neal.
First day I had a 7-pounder and a 5-pounder. Today I had 2 more good fish. So we're 0-ing tomorrow. Everybody's on an equal playing field. The lead doesn't matter anymore. So you gotta get 5 of those good bites. Whoever does that's gonna walk away with a trophy.
He covers a lot of water, reads it really well, quick and confident in his decision making.
He's got that momentum train rolling into 2022. The real deal, Michael Neal.
Here's Spencer Sheffield.
I caught a 4-pounder here to start first morning of the tournament, and I broke off a big one, like a real big one. In practice, I pulled over here and I caught a 3 and a 4 real quick, and I left. And I seen a lot. I know they're here. Some good ones.
Told me he started every day this week on the dam and would catch a limit.
First time for Pete Pons this morning.
Guys, in the morning time, what I've been doing is starting out with this rattle trap, a little bit of grass, and you see there's a little bit of bait there too. It's a little bitty, I guess that's like a little river minnow. But I just hooked that, and I think the bait moves up there on the edge of that stuff early. Bites come pretty early for me. The temperature has been a little bit cooler than what it is today. So, you know, we'll see what happens. There's a couple areas that have hydrilla under the water there. And when I hit that hydrilla and then pop it one time or just kind of feather it through there, they'll load on.
There must be a little one.
Now, local knowledge counts for something. And if we're talking about a local in this field of 10, it's certainly Jeff Bridges with local knowledge.
Jeff's just been on a nice little steady routine of fishing these corners going into these drains.
Oh, come off. What are they doing? They must be eating my weight. I think they're grabbing a weight.
Put a hook on the weight.
Matt Becker, winner, Tackle Warehouse Pro Circuit last year at Lake Murray.
Little tiny keeper spotted bass. We don't want him.
Matt Becker out of Pennsylvania is in his 5th year on the Tackle Warehouse Pro Circuit. And as I mentioned, his highlight was a win last year, the subject of this Fuel Me flashback. It's championship day, stop 3, Lake Murray, this jewel of the Carolinas.
He's been throwing that buzzbait so much this week, he's going to hear that in his sleep.
Matt Becker has been the man to beat.
Yes! Bait's caught some fish.
South Carolina's Slugfest.
That one's for you, Dad. I know you're watching. That's a good one there.
Choked it.
25 to 27 pound bag is not out of the question.
A 5 bass limit! Your champion is Matt Becker!
The Tackle Warehouse Pro Circuit presented by Fuel Me is brought to you by Tackle Warehouse. Click, save, fish. Fuel Me. Fuel ordering simplified. Abu Garcia, fish to win. Lowrance, America's #1 fish finder. And by Berkeley, your fish, our science.
This is Major League Fishing's Tackle Warehouse Pro Circuit presented by Fuel Me. Guaranteed rates, stop 1, Sam Rayburn, presented by Arc Fishing. This beautiful fishery was once known as McGee Bend Dam Reservoir, renamed in 1965 for the former Speaker of the House. Marty, take us through the lake breakdown.
As you said, Big Sam, 114,000 surface acres. It is the biggest lake within the boundaries of Texas state. And when you say you're the biggest in Texas, that's saying something. End to end, this lake is loaded with fish, and to me, it's normally broke down in sections, of 103 being way up north. Hadn't seen any anglers up there this week, and a lot of that's due to the lake being 3.5 foot down. Then you got the 147 bridge. Been a few anglers in there, but the star of this show so far this week has been mid-lake area. Limited grass, 75% less grass this year than in the past, but we've got several of our anglers. I'm looking at Jeff Bridges and Matt Becker that still, and Despino as well, that are fishing the areas that's got the limited grass in there. Different Sam, lower lake, drains and ditches and hard places have been the norm here. And normally when you show up here, you think about a red rattle trap and a lot of hydrilla.
I think we've seen that this week, but the hydrilla not as plentiful these days, JT. How is the lack of hydrilla impacting where these fish are potentially ganging up?
With the water level being 3 feet low, it's making a big difference where they are, but the few places that still have hydrilla, 5 Fingers Beach, those places, that's attracting some of our anglers because as long as there's still a little bit of hydrilla in this lake, a lot of these fish are gonna seek it out.
This guy has gotten off to quick starts each day. In fact, we saw him catch 2 on 1 cast. That was early on Saturday morning. Josh Butler. Let's see Butler's buy one, get one free deal in this Phoenix replay.
Unbelievable. How about that? How about that? 2 at a time.
He said he has maybe 20 minutes at the start of the day has been his bite window, but if it's as plentiful as it's been for him the first couple of days, he could win this event in the first half hour.
Number 1. They slapping at it.
He hadn't had any boats around him all week, and it looks like today, same thing. He's found an area, a drain, 8 to 10 foot, and it's a hard place down there at the bottom. These fish are just piled in first thing in the morning.
He told me last night he was talking to a good buddy of his, Jim Tutt, and he told Jim where he was fishing. You know, Jim's fished this place for years. Jim told me he's fishing. He said, that's why there's nobody around you. You picked the worst creek in the lake. It's like, well, you know what? I don't really think it's the worst creek in the lake right now. He said that's why he didn't have anybody around him, because nobody fishes in that creek.
All right, number 1.
Dylan Hayes.
He's big. I've caught 2. I've caught a 6.5, a 5.5, a 4, just about. And lost a great big one. Every one of them was like first thing in the morning.
Michael Neal.
They're just wanting to chase it. I hadn't had but one of them bite it, and I've had probably 20 or 30 chase it. They'll bite at some point.
And check in on Josh Butler.
You just get the feeling as many fish that's biting right there first thing in the morning, he's gonna lean back one time and it's gonna be a grown one. That first fish that he caught, he said the fish are swiping at. A lot of times, first thing in the morning, when you get a group of fish down there feeding, they're down there destroying everything. So they're just ripping through the bait, and you'll catch some on the side of the head, back of the head, but they just swipe because they're just feeding so aggressively.
They ain't big, but gotta start somewhere.
First time today with Randy Despino, Colfax, Louisiana native. 32 pounds for his 2-day total, but 20 pounds coming yesterday. The biggest bag of anyone all week. He's had multiple top 10s on Sam Rayburn, Toyota Series, and Phoenix BFL events, so I wouldn't call him a local, but he certainly has a good track record on this fishery, Marty.
Yeah, it looks like a good one, too.
It does.
Is that a red and orange vibe jig?
It's exactly what it looked like.
Good start for him.
Now, it's been tough out here on the National Trail, but you go back and look at that Cowboy division, 2014, he won the points. 2015, he was third in the points. 2018, he was fourth in the points. To me, Cowboy division and Chew-2 division, the BFL, you've checked some boxes.
No, absolutely.
Seen Josh Butler take advantage of that early morning bite each day. That's kind of been the case here.
If you were watching his rod tip, you could tell he got 2 or 3 bites before that one finally loaded up on it.
Day one, when he had that really good bag, though, the good news for him was he had a good start, but he also caught bigger fish later in the day.
And I'm gonna completely 360 everything I've done all week.
Back in with Spencer Sheffield.
Go to a different.
Looking for that big national win, as Spencer Sheffield's been good for a long time.
I said 5 casts. That was the first cast, another little one. 2-pounder. 2-pounder.
Josh Butler.
2-pounder.
Spencer Sheffield was the runner-up to John Cox at Smith Lake in Alabama last season on the Tackle Warehouse Pro Circuit.
It'll get a lot bigger than that at some point.
He fished 2 Bass Pro Tour events last year. Got a chance to do that with his finishes on the Tackle Warehouse Pro Circuit. He finished 11th and 13th in his 2 Bass Pro Tour events.
It's a fun bite, though. I love throwing this football head. You just are reeling it along and just boop, just like a swim bait bite. So much fun.
Josh Bragg. Josh was the last man in, was 10th yesterday.
Oh, yeah, that's a big one.
We went for the net on that one quick.
A good one.
Oh, get in the net. Oh, gosh. Oh, no. Oh, this isn't going good. Oh, gosh, I can't believe that.
He caught the net after
when it's your
it
day,
broke.
it's your day.
Wow.
And you saw the crankbait was not in the fish.
He caught the net.
It was in the net.
That was a cluster, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yes, we love it.
Yeah. Sometimes we refer to clusters as good television.
Right.
Whew, that was a near Chris Lane come-apart special there, JT.
That was a come-apart.
Yeah. But I think a come-apart ends poorly. This ended great with Josh Bragg. He's our leader on this Phoenix replay.
Man, I'm seeing them on the active target this morning. I mean, they're still here, and I knew them bigger ones were moving in, and I just caught that one on a crankbait, trying to get it in the net, man. The handle came out. That could have been a disaster. I don't think I need a coil on that. Yes.
Here's Michael Neal.
He told me yesterday afternoon he felt like for the first time all week he reconnected with these fish.
Yeah, he said his last call was a 4-pounder late in the day.
I'm not very good at netting them by myself.
Michael Neal puts his first one in the boat. And here is Michael's Polaris angler profile.
With family from the time I was 3 years old, you know, in a canoe with my grandfather, all the way up to fishing tournaments with my dad and mom. Biggest one was 9 pounds even in a pro circuit event at Lake Okeechobee in 2013. Anymore, it's a spinning rod and a drop shot. I mean, it doesn't just catch small fish. Anywhere there's a lot of pressure, you can still catch big ones on a spinning rod. Sight fishing, hands down. I can't see them, I don't want to see them, don't even look for them. Sight fishing, I hate it.
Championship Sunday on Major League Fishing's Tackle Warehouse Pro Circuit, presented by Fuel Me. Guaranteed rates, stop one. Sam Rayburn, presented by Arc Fishing. We get to watch some of the best in the business, like maybe the hottest angler on the planet right now, Michael Neal, get back to what he does so well. The reigning angler of the year on the Tackle Warehouse Pro Circuit. 7 top 10s a year ago, already won here in 2022. Pete Pons.
Small fish. I tell you what, that just kind of gave me an idea. I might need to keep throwing that rattle trap. Woo. Oh, yeah. It's not real big. There we go. Hey, he'll keep. We'll take him. You know, I'm glad I got them Hayabusa number 4s on there. Look at, not only did he get him in the mouth, but he got him back here in the back part too. So that's a good deal.
They're all big till you get 5.
Michael Neal.
Let's get us another one. That's a little bit of a start. We got 1 fish. Most of the time, by this time of the day, I've got more than 1. But that just kind of makes me want to keep throwing that rattle trap. You know, I was saying a little bit earlier that that trap, you know, it's a bite about every 30 or 45 minutes, so you can miss that bite real easy. And that fish hit it way out. So we'll see what happens.
We move back over to Michael Neal.
Come on, fish.
When they're so big they can't get out of the water, they're a good one.
That's like me at the local municipal swimming pool.
That's a giant bass. It's like a deep water warlock.
Deep water warlock? That sounds terrifying.
Look at the size of that thing. It is terrifying, Chad.
You know, you're right, that does look like a deep water warlock.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, what a fish. That might be the biggest one I've ever caught in my life.
Championship Sunday's a good day to catch the biggest fish you've caught in your life.
That is a giant. That's the fish that you win $100,000 with.
Wow.
I don't even know how big that is. But I know that it doesn't need a cold tack, for sure. It's way bigger than the 7 I caught the first day.
I'm not sure you can get that into the live well.
It's a Phoenix, it'll fit.
Go in with 5 of those, we'll go in early.
A Texas toad that may make Texas toast of the rest of the field right there. When you're on a roll, you can't be stopped. And Michael Neal is on a roll in professional bass fishing. This Phoenix replay with what he said might be the biggest one he's ever caught in his life.
And you got to understand, he lives on Chickamauga. They grow them big there.
Back to Butler.
There we go. A little better fish.
Sam Rayburn Reservoir. Such a popular spot for all the major bass fishing trails. Bass Pro Tour was here last year, an event won by Ott Defo. 2 years ago, John Cox won here on the Tackle Warehouse Pro Circuit. Out of Hayden, Alabama, Josh Butler is in his second year with us on the Tackle Warehouse Pro Circuit. This is his first top 10. Josh finished 63rd in points during his rookie year.
255. $260. 2 3/4. 4 fish.
Here's a look at our unofficial leaderboard based on estimated weights.
4 for like 8.
And let's meet Josh Butler in this Polaris angler profile.
2 years old with my granddad, fishing out of flat bottom, crappie fishing, brim fishing. I mean, I like anything that bite, but I'm an offshore angler. I love cranking, throwing a swim bait. St. Lawrence, world-class smallmouth fishery, and Lake Guntersville, close to my house, and I'm an offshore fisherman, so I love it. Aaron Martins, I mean, he's a world-class guy, stand up, great human being, did it the right way.
Top 10 this week at Sam Rayburn Reservoir in pursuit of $100,000 plus first prize check. Spencer Sheffield hoping to be in on the action here this week. Matt Becker, can he get another major national win? We check back in with Michael Neal.
Oh, they're on it again. I got that one.
You can tell when we've been watching him fish, he's catching those fish off active target.
Oh, yeah.
You can tell when they're just constantly staring at that graph and moving the trolling motor around that much when they're not trolling. That's because they're scanning that active target beam around there.
That's when he figured out yesterday they went from the bottom of the drain up to the side, because he went over there and just shined on that side, and he's like, well, they've been here and now they're there, and then the light bulb went off. Because of these warm days, they made a move. We always want to make that move and they go all the way to the bank. But they went from the ditch to the top.
Michael off to another great start this morning. You know, he won last year, won Angler of the Year. He won an event. He had 2 runner-up finishes as well. He was nearly the Red Crest champion. Dustin Connell won that on the Bass Pro Tour.
15 more minutes, and I don't know if Connell was going to hold this one off.
Yeah. Here's Bragg again.
See if we can get those better bites. That's what we need. I mean, with the weight 0 today, I mean, we've got to have a big bag. There he is. Big one, too. Feels like it.
Josh Bragg has a 6-pounder, not the near 10-pounder we saw from Michael Neal a short time ago, but Josh Bragg's off to a good start.
Yes! That's what we need right there. We're gonna make it interesting if we can catch 4 more of those. Yes.
Here's a look at Josh Bragg's location here on this Texas reservoir.
This is a good call to move.
Jeff Bridges, rookie on the Tackle Warehouse Pro Circuit, has run successful businesses away from the water and doing this more on a full-time basis now. He was third in a Toyota Series event here at Sam Rayburn last April.
You say running a business too. At 28, he decided to concentrate on his business more than anything else. And in 2017, he sold his business to a Fortune 500 company, had over 600 employees. When I talk to him, though, he reminds me of a Ron Nelson. That whole story, set up life and then take care of fishing.
It's a little surprised Jeff Bridges has gotten off such a slow start today, Marty.
I am. He really told me he thought they were going to bite a little bit better early, but the good news for Bridges is a lot of his weight comes in that midday, from that 10 to 2.
It has, and he's been catching most of them on a Carolina rig, but this one he caught on a red rattle trap, and it just looks like he's changing up a little bit.
We check back in with Despino. Well, can anyone catch Michael Neal? This guy caught a 20-pound bag yesterday, so he certainly would be in the running to be able to do that. But Michael Neal has given them all a big bar to shoot for that they don't know about.
Right. Well, Marty, that looked like a pretty good one, too.
He told me he's only getting 7 to 8 bites a day, but yesterday they were just all solid 4-pounders.
I'd call that over 4.
Yep. He's a big bite away from this thing getting very interesting.
Mm-hmm. 6.5. Holy smoly. Oh my gosh. That's a game changer. Oh my goodness. That'll make a man shake. Oh, we on our way now. I knew them big ones was coming.
And coming here now, a Polaris Angler Profile on Randy Despino.
My dad taught me to fish when we started fishing, I guess, when I was 7 years old. Fishing a purple whitetail cream worm on a Zep Code 33. My favorite fishery would be Toledo Bend. My biggest accomplishment was making the top 10 in the Tackle Warehouse Pro Circuit. My biggest fish was on Choke Canyon, 13-2.
Our host site for Stop 1 in East Texas, near the town of Jasper, features much more than just bass fishing. Rayburn Country Resort offers golf and a variety of other recreational activities. The natural surroundings are perfect for hiking, including a trek on the trail between the lakes. National forests, state parks, and wildlife areas dot the region. Located on a 200-acre site donated by Jasper County, the John D. Parker East Texas State Fish Hatchery produces up to 5 million fingerlings each year for stocking the state's public waters. The hatchery produces Florida largemouth bass, channel catfish, blue catfish, and sunfish. Back out to the water. A game-changing fish right here from Michael Neal, caught about 15 minutes ago, and weighing it just to see what we've got here.
Look at that Hossen Pfeffer.
8.5.
866 is what it looked like to me.
Yeah, 8.5 plus for Michael Neal. Let us check in with Evan Barnes for the first time today.
You can see them up there. They're still, I mean, when I caught these fish, they were up on a little shelf around 6 foot, and it's like that in this whole creek pretty much. But they're still out in that like 10, you know, that 10 to 12 foot range. And I've literally thrown everything at them, and they just do not bite. I mean, I've thrown a throwing a jerk bait, get them to follow it, throwing a drop shot, get them to, you know, look at it and stuff like that. But until they pull up and get ready to feed, it's one of those things they're just not going to bite. And of course, I tried to decide, you know, whether I was going to come in here and grind it out for the first couple of hours or start somewhere else. But I've tried out deep. I've tried fishing piles, and I just hadn't got it going. I know a lot of guys are doing that and getting it going, but that's just not what I've done this week. So I figure I'll just stick to my guns, and eventually I'll get bit.
Randy Despino. He was 4 pounds out of the top 10 to start yesterday, but came in with 20 pounds to get himself here.
He's probably benefited from this warming trend more than anybody. He told me he's concentrating on these drains that's got a little bit more water in them, that's 6 to 8 foot. In the first day when he had a lighter bag, they were there, but they wouldn't bite. He could see them on the forward-facing sonar. And then yesterday, he put it together where it was a wood-grass combo. To me, with what I'm seeing right now and the way we know that offshore bite dies during the middle part of the day and the end of the day, Randy's fishing shallower than everybody else in dirtier water. And now what we got, 3 days in a row, there's been sunshine on these fish. I feel like he can roll through one of these pieces of wood or shallow grass, and one of these great big old Rayburn bass are going to show up here in a second.
Back to Michael Neal. This is his 6th consecutive finish in the top 15 of a major national event.
Do you realize this lake was the only lake last year he didn't make a check at?
He finished 60th at Sam Rayburn Reservoir on the Bass Pro Tour last year.
Well, it looks like he might be going to get some redemption today.
I would say.
And he said he's never had a good finish in Texas to his knowledge.
Let me just run down what Michael Neal has done here in the last year. Bass Pro Tour, 2nd at Red Crest, 4th at Heavy Hitters. He was 20th at Lake Travis, 6th on the Harris Chain, 4th at Chickamauga, 17th on the St. Lawrence River, and then the winner at St. Clair. Tackle Warehouse Pro Circuit, he had a top 10 at Lake Murray, was 2nd on the Potomac River, 11th on the St. Lawrence River, and then had a top 25 at the Tackle Warehouse title. 16 events, 7 top 10s, a win, and 2 runner-up finishes.
Where are you? Yes, sir. It's not an 8-pounder, but it's a dang good one. Take it right there for sure. Put this over 20.
And we got to keep in mind, he's got like 2 2-pounders in his bag.
Right.
I mean, he catches another even 4-pounder. That's going to be 2 more pounds. He'll be at 23.5 pounds. I mean, he's got a lot of room to upgrade.
There's some up here.
Dylan Hayes is fighting the good fight. He's catching some fish, but they're all in the 1.5-pound category, and it's just hard to make up that kind of ground on guys like Bragg and certainly Michael Neal. Dylan Hayes is one of 6 anglers joining us full-time on the Bass Pro Tour from the Tackle Warehouse Pro Circuit a season ago.
He was the last angler to earn his way in. The first angler out last year, Spencer Sheffield. 13 points separated them.
Number 4.
Dylan Hayes has an estimated 4 for just under 5 pounds. And Michael Neal leads our unofficial leaderboard. Remember, new this year, weights were zeroed to start this championship day. Of course, in this case, not totally by coincidence, Neal also led after day 3, so he's kept that momentum going.
The Tackle Warehouse Pro Circuit, presented by Fuel Me, is brought to you by Phoenix, built by anglers for anglers. Favorite Fishing, the future of fishing. Polaris, think outside. Lithium Pros, the one battery you need. And by Mercury, go boldly.
Welcome inside our Major League Fishing studios with Marty Stone and JT Kenny. I'm Chad McKee. We're just about halfway through our coverage, maybe a little more than that. It's been the Michael Neal show so far. Marty, you've said it a couple of times today. This is now an angler who knows how to close out an event. So it's advantaged him for multiple reasons. Number one, he's got a lead. Number two, he's been in this position and has sealed the deal in the past. There's a lot going for him right now.
I think the biggest thing, too, was the end of the third day of competition, the fact that he relocated these fish. He didn't have a good practice, and then he's sort of been piecing it together as the tournament went, and a lot of it was around the ditches and drains on Rayburn, which that's historical. But his fish that he located earlier in the event, they were in the bottom part of those ditches and drains. And then yesterday's competition, the end of third day, right there at the end of the day, looking at that active target, the forward-facing sonar, he realized them fish had went from the middle of the drains, now they're sitting up on the sides, and they're also at the tail ends of them where they're pushing a little bit more shallow. We're seeing an angler like the Spino, those fish are coming to him. Michael Neal found the winning fish yesterday afternoon, and I think with these conditions, more and more are going to pile in there.
What's the continued sunshine and warming temperatures doing for this fishery and as we move through the next 2, 3, 4 hours, JT?
We're hoping we're going to get a little bit of advantage out of that for the anglers. You know, some of the fish that are shallower, warming might be able to help the anglers a little bit, get those fish a little more active. Some of these fish that are still out there in that 6 and deeper, you know, 10, 12 feet, especially like where Michael Neal and some of the other guys are targeting them, I don't think that's going to help very much those guys at all. It's going to take a few more days for that heat to get down further if it even keeps warming up.
Over to Josh Butler now.
I don't feel like you're going to find a Tennessee River school, but if you can find 3 or 4 kind of grouped up, those will be the one to bite. But it's literally just one here, one there.
And everybody's still trying to catch Michael Neal. Evan down in 10th place unofficially, still looking for his first keeper.
Neat little story with Evan, too. He owns a company called Beast Fishing Innovations.
Little one, I think.
So they rig trolling motors, depth finders, power poles on boats.
Maybe.
His company has rigged Spencer Sheffield, Dylan Hayes, and his boat. 3 of the top 10.
I think that's number 1.
Back to Josh Bragg.
Thought that was him. I ain't real sure what one hit it.
I felt it back here, Josh.
Oof.
As we go to Evan Barnes.
You got to start somewhere. You look bigger if I do this. Yep, you got to start somewhere. Now I'm only 3 6-pounders away.
Positivity and confidence are not a problem for this angler.
Thank you, Lord. Things are super empty. Let's see.
We swing back over to Josh Butler.
Come out. Come out.
Caught 19-15 on day 1. He was your day 1 leader, as a matter of fact.
That was her.
What happened?
Had me in the brush. Just broke off. That's what Russian roulette. Throw 7-pound test in a brush pile looking for big ones. It happens. The way I look at it, you gotta get bit first.
Pete Pons, we shall see. He had a top 10 to start the year last year, in fact. The season opening event at Okeechobee, he finished 7th.
I knew that felt good right before that. He must have swung at it. I've got vicious 8-pound test line on here. I don't want to pull hard. Well, it's a nice one, too. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's why we came down here. That's not a big fish, but it's better than what I was catching up there, you know? Man, those hooks got him. Pretty good, pretty good, pretty good. Let's get another one.
Pete Ponds is getting there. Let's see if others can make progress toward catching Michael Neal.
I'm still up here in the canyons and trying to figure out exactly what I want to do from here. I've got one more spot I want to fish, and then probably going to go back to where I started this morning. Might have been a better idea just to go on back down there and make this rotation again, but the wind's making it take a lot longer to fish a place than I would like for it to, just because you can't make the right cast, can't see your bait good, all that good stuff. So I'm just still looking for one or two more bites. I mean, that's all it's going to take.
You just got to get them to fire and bite.
As Josh Bragg makes a move, let's go to his Polaris angler profile.
I grew up, you know, pond hopping, going to the river with my dad and my granddad, just fishing. We did everything from bluegill fishing to bass fishing. Lake Guntersville, it's near and dear to my heart. I told my wife if I could move anywhere, that's where I'd be. This is a lifelong dream for me. There's been times where being here has looked very dim. So just making it to this level is I mean, I couldn't ask to do anything bigger.
Championship Sunday on Major League Fishing's Tackle Warehouse Pro Circuit, presented by Fuel Me, and the Guaranteed Rate Stop 1 Sam Rayburn, presented by Arc Fishing. I want to thank the Jasper County Development District, the Brooklyn, Texas area, hosting the Tackle Warehouse Pro Circuit. Always good to bring Major League Fishing to East Texas. Randy Despino continues to work his way up. You can tell he's still confident, JT. Now, he has no idea what Michael Neal has done, but he's got a right to feel confident.
He does. He's probably catching the most average good fish. You know, like a lot of his fish are all in that 3-4 pound range. I mean, and he's still, you know, if Michael Neal slows down, he catches another 20-pound bag. I mean, he could be the one holding that trophy at the end of the day.
He spends a lot of time on this body of water. He's been out here now. This makes his 4th year on tour. 19, he was 139th AOY. 20, he was 111 AOY. Last year, 114. He owned it. He owned it. And he said, I feel like this is going to be the year.
He's off to a good start toward proving that.
He has a tire store, a Despino Tires, 8 different locations, has a cattle ranch, 400 heifers, a propane business, 7 locations, pecan farm of over 600 acres of pecans, and then a charter fishing service, JT. You talking about a guy that's got his hands into everything. His wife, his brother, his son, they run all the family businesses that allows him to have time to come out here.
So Randy Despino gaining some ground there. Still a lot more to go if he hopes to catch Michael Neal. Little check-in on Pete Ponds here. Top 10 anglers this week are on the water in pursuit of at least $100,000 first prize. The total purse for this event is going to end up being over $900,000. Wow.
So light. Golly. Oh, dude, my dadgum. Woo! My net got hung up in the rod tip. I mean, I should have just tried to go on a boat flipping. Whew, man.
As we check in with Spencer Sheffield.
Dang it. It's a freaking big one, too. So stupid. Hell, they're not getting a stinking hook better. Finally get a big bite, and I don't even hook her. Straight up strips from worm. I mean, for sure a big one. Follow that swim bait all the way to the boat. Still sitting there, ain't even move.
Let's check in with Josh Butler, already hooked up.
Whoa. That one, he might keep. He's long.
This is not a one-shot wonder. 2020 was the year that he said, let's get serious about this. Won the points championship in the BFL, Choo-Choo division, hard division to compete in. Third in his division in Toyota Series, made the championship.
That'll make a limit for Butler.
We haven't been on Sheffield much today, but he told me as the morning, about 9:30, 10 o'clock, when these fish truly get up off the bottom, he's catching almost all of his on forward-facing sonar and had a nice day. And he said the first day he lost a couple key fish, or it would have been another good day. And he thinks he can catch a 20-pound bag, and said he was catching anywhere between 35 and 45 keepers a day, but it was all on forward-facing sonar. When he makes it to the Bass Pro Tour, and he will, the way he likes to fish, and every fish counts, it is gonna, he will be a force.
Everyone over 2 pounds counts.
He wouldn't have come off in 12 years.
Runner-up at Smith Lake in Alabama last year on the Tackle Warehouse Pro Circuit.
Not even a pad on the bite.
Evan Barnes struggled for the first couple of hours, but here lately he's found a little something. Fished collegiately at Arkansas Tech. The Wonder Boys, I believe. Yeah.
And he hadn't been doing it long. In 2014, he made the All-American as a co-angler.
Looks like a little red lipless crankbait action.
Ark's crankbait, one of our sponsors.
He'll keep, he's barely gonna make it.
Randall Thorpe's been throwing the Ark rods for a while. Now they're getting into hard plastics, rods, reels, everything.
He's a keeper. Why didn't you see me? Well, it's I guess a good thing to save the little ones for the very, very last day, I guess, something. Oh, well.
You know, with Barnes, Sheffield, and Dillon, we've got 3 anglers from Hot Springs, Arkansas.
Could you say that's a hotbed of fishing activity, Marty?
Yes, like it.
And let's meet Wonder Boy, Evan Barnes.
So I've been fishing since as long as I can remember. 2 or 3 years old, my dad and my grandpa would take me down to the lake. I guess my favorite fishery is gonna have to be Champlain. Went up there a couple of years ago. I cannot wait to get back. The biggest bass I've ever caught weighed 9.3. Actually caught it in a little club tournament. Gotta be Larry Nixon, Arkansas guy, just like me. I'd say at the end of my career, if mine looks even half as good as he is, I'll be pretty daggum happy.
It is Major League Fishing's Tackle Warehouse Pro Circuit, presented by Fuel Me. Guaranteed rates. Stop one, Sam Rayburn, is presented by Arc Fishing. Gorgeous look down from the favorite fishing drone cam at Sam Rayburn Reservoir. Such a popular spot for all the major bass fishing trails. We check back in with Josh Bragg
There he is.
Last man in to the championship round. Two-day total was 30 pounds and 1 ounce.
If this is a bass, it's a giant.
I was just getting ready to say the same thing when he got a couple reels on it and then it pulled back. That might be a real one.
If it's a bass, it's a giant.
So unofficially, he's about 6.5 pounds behind Michael Neal.
Yes, sir. Look at that one. Man, we have ground it out. We have ground it out. That's a good one. That is a good one. Look how fat that fish is. Gosh, dang it, man. You're talking about tough to try to keep the wheels on.
Michael Neal is our leader.
Staring at his active target.
Out there's 3, out there 40 feet.
He has pulled in an 8.5. He's got another 6-pounder. Michael Neal, winner at Stage 7 on the Bass Pro Tour at St. Clair last year. It's funny, too, because day number 1 of this event, he said, I feel like I'm fishing at St. Clair. It's been a good feeling, and it may lead to back-to-back wins. One to close out 2021, one to open 2022.
Look at that. Look inside that fish's mouth. Look at that tail.
Josh Bragg having a good day. He does not know what Michael Neal has done.
You think that'll help?
That's a good call.
Okay, what are we looking at there, coal-wise?
3 pounds, I'd say.
Probably.
At least.
I would agree. That might cut half of his deficit to Michael Neal. Evan Barnes working his way closer to catching his 5-fish limit, and let's check in with him.
It's pretty good. It's a fat one, at least.
Evan Barnes building a little confidence here in the midday.
How big? It's probably 2 something. Look how fat that thing is. That's a healthy fish. I like them kind. Yeah! Probably 2, I'm gonna say, it's probably 2.5 as fat as it is, but short and fat.
As we move over to Pete Ponds.
Here we go, here we go. Whoa, get back here, boy. I tell you, we pulled up on this top and I got that active target going and that all scan and Bubba, and that's what happens right there. At least we got our 5th fish. You know, we just made a move. We catch them on jerk, caught one on jerk bait and it was slow. Missed one on jerk bait, but I decided to make a little move. And I think it's gonna be a good one because I saw several fish down there. I just don't know what size they are. That's a nice fish. I don't think he's close. He's not, he's 16, so we're in good shape. Makes 5 anyway, Bubba. We're there. We just gotta get some big ones now.
So some of the anglers down a little further on our unofficial leaderboard. Got to get things going.
Big one.
Spencer Sheffield included there.
Spencer's actually catching a lot of fish. He's fishing a drop shot out offshore and mixing in a little swim bait too. But it just catching a lot of smaller ones. But this is the way that he made it to the top 10. He knows there's some bigger fish out there. It's just if he can get on them.
She will help the calls, that's for sure. Stay on, baby. Gosh, I hate getting nets. Just the fact that I got it makes me have to use it. You know what I mean? Much rather not have this thing.
You're down there 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th. It's $1,000 between those stops, but you get up to 2nd and 3rd place. It is significant. 2nd place is $30,000, 3rd place is $25,000, and 4th is $20,000. So between 4th, 3rd, and 2nd, it's $5,000 every time you move up a spot. an ounce could be $5,000, is what I'm saying.
There we go. She's a little bigger than 3. I've lost a couple like that every day on a drop shot right at the boat in the net, but we didn't lose that one, baby. There we go. It's a solid 3.5, 3.25. Had to get rid of a 190.
You knew Sheffield was going to make a run. Now, does he have enough time? And I think the answer to that's yes.
And here's the scoop on Spencer.
Lake St. Clair in Detroit, Michigan. Big smallmouth. I love catching big brown bass. I mean, it had to be my dad because he taught me. But, you know, the Kevin Van Dam, Denny Breyer, all them. Grew up seeing them guys every tournament, being around them all the time. Definitely, those are the pioneers of the sport for sure. I love catching them flipping, frogging, heavy braid, big rods. I love doing that, but drop shots definitely probably got the sweet spot in my heart.
The Tackle Warehouse Pro Circuit presented by Fuel Me is brought to you by Tackle Warehouse. Click, save, fish. Lowrance, America's #1 fish finder. Power Pole, total boat control. Lucas Oil, it works. And by Power Stop Brakes, brake upgrades made easy.
We get out to Jeff Bridges.
Oh, goodness. Way out there.
Excited to see what this guy can do this year with the selling the companies, where he's at in life. Everything's good for him right now. Kids are grown up a little bit. He's got time to go do this. Probably not worried about where the house payment's coming from. Look for him to make a run at that Rookie of the Year.
I have to measure his little butt.
You think we show up at Rayburn, think it was going to be one on a jerkbait?
Boy,
with forward-facing sonar being the dominant player.
Do you really want my answer?
Number 5.
Water's low, clear, not much grass? Yep.
You actually, and the reason I went there, you called that the first day when we were watching this.
Matt Becker, just 1 keeper so far today.
It's a miracle.
Becker's 2-day total was 32 pounds, 5 ounces.
You can tell it's warmed up, shorts and barefoot.
Now, Becker was barefoot even in the 40-degree temperatures yesterday that we had. So that's and this is a Pennsylvania guy.
Yeah, but shorts?
Sure.
Holy crap. That was a long time coming. Oh, we finally caught one. It's only taken us, what, 6 hours since the last bite? Jeez. Now we just need 4 more of those.
Back to Michael Neal. One more good call, and it may be insurmountable for Michael.
That'll help.
Boys, that might be game, set, and match right there.
Check in on Josh Butler.
And I'm gonna put a little extra flair in this. What if somebody catches one of those Bridges 10-6s?
Yeah, 10-6. Well,
then this thing really gets interesting. There's
unless
about
it's Michael
7
Neal,
of them. Yeah,
then it's not very interesting.
It would be really cool.
The culling process, the rest of the way for most of these guys.
When he was leading the first day, his better fish were from noon on. He had that one stop where he catches that, 11 to 12 pounds first thing, but his better fish have always come later in the day.
4 1/4 for a 2-pounder. Gives me 23.
Hey, Marty, you know how you win tournaments?
Catch more fish and more weight than everybody else.
When you're calling by pounds instead of ounces.
Over to Dylan Hayes now.
Woo, I smoked a stump and it got me excited. I got clay in my reel. Lovely.
Steg has the feel, though, that 1 or 2 more big fish are going to show up.
Huh? Like almost a half a pound, I think. Yeah, 0.45. So I'm at like 1160. So I'm probably roughly almost 12-ish. 11 3/4, I would say.
Yeah, that has the potential to move him up a couple of spots. We check back in with Jeff Bridges.
Oh, little pain there.
Jeff Bridges caught a 10-6, remember, on day 1 on Sam Rayburn Reservoir. He was in 2nd place after day 1. He's made it all the way to the championship round. It may take another 10-6 from him to chase down this man, our leader, Michael Neal. Why would he have said earlier in the week, I feel like I'm fishing at St. Clair?
Stay on there, baby.
He never has enjoyed those smallmouth tournaments up until St. Clair. He's never enjoyed his time down in Texas up until the first day.
Okay, you want to come over here? We'll go over here. As long as you get in the boat, I don't care what you do.
And when I talked to him prior to the event, and he says it in his own humble way, but he's like, Marty, I'm really hoping I don't zero.
Rather you not go back here, though, but that's where we're going.
He's at the top of the leaderboard, but this has not been an easy event for him at all. I mean, he's made it look easy.
We're going like a full circle.
But it hasn't been. Yesterday at noon, he's at 1 fish.
It ain't but like a 3 1/2 pounder, I think.
And then he starts to dial in what he's on right now.
Maybe a little, oh, it come off.
Oh, that one came off.
So Michael Neal loses one, but that's about the only misfortune the defending Tackle Warehouse Pro Circuit Angler of the Year has had today. He's our leader for the Guaranteed Rate Stop 1, presented by Arc Fishing on Sam Rayburn Reservoir in East Texas. We'll be back with more Major League Fishing on the Tackle Warehouse Pro Circuit, presented by Fuel Me. This is Major League Fishing's Tackle Warehouse Pro Circuit, presented by Fuel Me. Guaranteed Rates, Stop 1, Sam Rayburn, presented by Arc Fishing. Beautiful Sunday at Sam Rayburn Reservoir in East Texas, where everything is bigger. A familiar spot for Michael Neal on top of a leaderboard.
Oh, I'm still fighting it, trying to get it from it. I might have 2, I don't know. Don't jump.
Oh, that is a big one.
But I expected nothing less.
All right, boys, we can call it a day.
Turn the lights off.
Wow.
Lock the doors.
For about 5 years, people wondered, and Michael himself, when would he get his first national win? For the second time in 5 months, he has proven that he can seal the deal. Michael Neal, with back-to-back major wins, that's going to do it. A season-closing win on the Bass Pro Tour last September, a season-opening win on the Tackle Warehouse Pro Circuit for Michael Neal.
4 1/2.
Josh Bragg.
I'm probably around, man, Like, these guys are so good, you never know. I mean, some of the best in the world. Michael Neal's the hottest angler in the world right now. I mean, he catches them every time he puts his boat in the water. Matt Becker, there's not a place he doesn't catch them. You got Pete Pons, been in the game for a long time. And then you got, you know, my roommate, Josh Butler. You know, when they're offshore, he's as good as, you know, he's as good as any of them. Then you got Local Stick here too. So I don't know, you know, I'm hoping be in the top 5, but we'll take wherever we shake out.
Getting a look at Randy Despino.
Well, we had a good day. Started out good, caught some good fish early. They bit early this morning. After about 10, it slowed down. We changed spots, we changed baits, we've done a few different things. We didn't get out too far off whack. I think we've done okay. We got 16 and a half, 17 pounds. We'll see what happens.
Let's see how Spencer's doing.
Well, started a little opposite today of how I've caught them all week. I ended up staying shallow this morning early. Kind of wish I would have spent more time out deep this morning because that's how I've been catching them, but I just felt like I could catch bigger ones shallow early because, I mean, I hadn't really done that yet, but in practice, I caught some good ones shallow early. So, you know, kind of went with that this morning. It didn't pan out. Ended up going out deep and caught, you know, the bulk of my weight out there, caught 5, 6 times. And, you know, hindsight's 20/20. I kind of wish I'd stayed deep from the get-go, but had I not ended up with any more than I've got right now, I would have ended up wishing I would have went shallow. So, you know, all in all, I'm okay with it, I guess. I really would have liked to have went out there and caught 20 today, but I would have really had to have had one of them big kicker bites to have done that, and I just never had a shot at one of them today, so.
Pete Pons.
Hey guys, not the day we wanted, but hey, it was a good week. You know, we changed up a lot today, what we did coming in, and we did a little bit of different stuff. Tried to catch big fish most of the day, and so we're gonna see what happens. You know, you never know. We'll just see how it turns out. Hey, it's been a great week. You know, I mean, anytime you can make a top 10 in with these guys, you've done something. So I'm happy. You know.
Well, that's a wrap on it. Started off the year good, no matter how this shakes out. I mean, to come off of last year winning Angler of the Year, having a good year on the Bass Pro Tour as well. I mean, this was very important to me to get off to a good start. Had no idea that I was capable of catching this kind of bag, even after fishing the tournament. But I thought 10 pounds a day was about the most I could do. But plans were a little different. So see how this shakes out. Regardless, I mean, you can't be mad if you get beat with 26 pounds. It's just part of it.
What would it mean to you to win?
To win this one would be a big deal. I mean, I won Angler of the Year. That was what I called my first big win. I won a Bass Pro Tour event. Now to come back to where I started and win a 5-fish tournament, I mean, that would just be unbelievable. But never know till the scales are closed.
Finished with a win in 2021, opens with another win in 2022. Are the floodgates just opening for this angler now, JT?
It really does seem like it. I mean, he has got the throttle all the way open, and it is just, this has been fun to watch.
I've told him time and time again the last couple of years, wins come when you least expect them. At the beginning of this event, Michael Neal told me he just did not want a 0 day one. And now, look.
Didn't want a 0 on day one. That's setting the bar low.
You know what he ended up with? A whole lot of zeros on the end of his paycheck. That's what he ended up with.
Yeah, we're going to determine how many zeros in just a bit. The weigh-in with Chris Jones coming up. Michael Neal's going to win his 2nd straight event when you count last season and the Bass Pro Tour. How do you describe, you know, honestly, since the Bass Pro Tour started in 2019, we've watched this guy's career just explode. Why is that, Marty? Why is he shot through the stratosphere now?
I think that the whole deal with Neal, because in 2019, when we showed up at Kissimmee Toho, a lot of people don't realize he made a top 10 there. That was our introduction, our national introduction to Michael Neal. And then just gradually he keeps getting better. And there hasn't been those down moments at all. And I still say with Neal, he has yet to figure out how good he can be. but he's starting to dial it in, and that can be scary for a lot of people.
Sam Rayburn has been a spot for all the major national tours just about every year, it seems like, JT, and it's different this time of the year. What's going to be your overall impression, other than Michael Neal, of Sam Rayburn this week to open the season?
I mean, it was definitely a different Sam Rayburn than we're used to. You know, the water's low, not nearly as much grass, but it still turned out some really big ones.
And at the weigh-in, they will find out that Michael Neal has won again, sealing the deal once again. Now we will see who shows up, and I think the real competitive spots are going to be about 4 through 8, just to see who makes an extra 4,000 here or there. Remember, there's 5,000 difference between 4th and 3rd and 3rd and 2nd. Coming to a conclusion of the Guaranteed Rate Stop 1, Sam Rayburn, presented by Arc Fishing. It's a championship Sunday on Big Sam. Tackle Warehouse Pro Circuit presented by Fuel Me, and our opening stop for 2022. Guaranteed Rate Stop 1, Sam Rayburn, presented by Arc Fishing. This week, Berkeley has handed out $2,000 in Berkeley Big Bass cash.
Oh,
Jeff Bridges, $1,000 for this 10-6 beast.
Yeah,
Bassosaurus Rex.
Indeed, sir. Everything is bigger in Texas. The bass, the toast.
Atta guy for that Sam Rayburn kicker.
Lance Crawford, 7-5, gaining $1,000 yesterday.
Good job, Lance.
It's weigh-in time with Chris Jones.
Word on the street is that Sam Rayburn is the place to be, and the Tackle Warehouse Pro Circuit is the thing to see. We've got a lot of money on the line. We've got some fireworks today from Colfax, Louisiana. Let's hear it for Randy Despino. Take it to the front. Wow! A kicker on Championship Sunday. 16 pounds and 11 ounces.
Today it was a good day. I caught a lot of fish.
Yes, you did.
The quality just fell off on me. Caught them on a rattle trap, a chatterbait, and a V&M jig. With that, I thank the good Lord for letting me come out here and fish.
You got it, man. He's got mojo going into stop number 2 in March at Harris Shane. It is Randy Despino, the new king of the hill. We got 2 guys left. Let's hear it for Jacksonville, Alabama's Josh Bragg. Wow! A 5 bass limit for Josh Bragg. 18 pounds and 2 ounces. You got the lead. Let's go talk about it, man.
If you told me that I was going to be in the top 10 after practice, I would have told you you're crazy. I mean, I worked hard to get here. Just to qualify for this level of tournaments, I've tried for a long time. Wherever I come out, top 10, yeah, you can't complain.
Let's hear it for his hard work this week. He'll shake hands with Randy Despino, but your new leader is Josh Bragg. Let's bring him up from Dayton, Tennessee, the reigning defending Angler of the Year, Michael Neal. To knock out Josh Bragg. It's a tall hill to climb, 18 pounds and 2 ounces. Wow! A 5 bass limit, 26 pounds, 5 ounces. The real deal, Michael Neal is your champion.
Been a long time to get here, but like you always say, momentum's everything. We've spent a lot of time on this stage right here, coming in 2nd and 3rd, but I finally got the monkey off my back in the pro circuit too.
Absolutely, dude.
See if we can keep this momentum going for the whole 2022.
He is a champion on the pro circuit.
So it's official. Michael Neal captures his first victory on the Tackle Warehouse Pro Circuit presented by Fuel Me. That means he's a Major League Fishing dual title holder since Michael is coming off a win on the Bass Pro Tour to close last season. It was a Pro Circuit career best finish for runner-up Josh Bragg as well.
Every day's been slow toward the middle of the day. I was finally able to make an adjustment and caught a nice fish at about 12 o'clock today. But after that, it was just a grind. There's fish I left out there that I could actually see on my graph that I wanted to pull my hair out.
I know the big ones is here.
That's a good call. For some reason, man, this lake just clicks. I just understand how the fish set up, and And I'm not going to take away that I got very fortunate to find a couple of good places this week too. I didn't know it was that they were that good in practice, but they turned out to be good. And, you know, I feel like I had fish coming to in the creek I was in, and we just collided. We have ground it out. That's a good one. It feels good to get off on the right foot this week and to start this year off good. The rest of the tournaments can follow suit. Do well enough to make that title. That's a goal.
The Tackle Warehouse Pro Circuit presented by Fuel Me is brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places. Mercury. Go boldly. Covercraft. Protecting the things that move you. General Tire. Delivers. And by Wiley X. Go confidently.
Oh my gosh, what a fish. That might be the biggest one I've ever caught in my life.
26 pounds for Michael Neal, and his Mercury moment today was a big one. This was the game changer, 8.5 pounds.
That's the fish that you win $100,000 with. I don't even know how big that is. But I know that it doesn't need a cold tack, for sure.
Guaranteed Rate Stop 1, Sam Rayburn, presented by Arc Fishing, is in the books. Michael Neal's day of 26 pounds 5 ounces was only the tournament's second 20-pound-plus bag. It's no wonder that he won by more than 8 pounds. After the win, we sat down with the defending Tackle Warehouse Pro Circuit Angler of the Year.
The goal for 2022 was to win another tournament. Going into it, I thought a 20-pound bag was doable, but I really didn't think 26. And I knew somebody was going to have 20 to win. I really figured there would be a couple of those 20-pound bags. A couple guys would get, you know, a 6 to 8 pounder that really boosts your bag here, and that's what Texas is all about. Texas and Florida, if you don't have one of those really big fish, you really don't have a chance to compete. This morning started off with a bang. I went to a place, a new starting spot. I'd fished it both the first 2 days. Roll up there this morning, and on my active target, I start seeing fish everywhere, and it seemed like every time I made a cast to them, they would eat. One of them was an 8-pounder, and that fish absolutely kicked my tail. I hit spot lock as soon as I caught it because I wanted to be able to make the same exact cast, but it ran behind the boat, and I decided that it was probably big enough that I should forget the spot lock and go chase it down. Took me a while, but I got her in the boat. Texas is one of those places that I've always struggled, and when I came here, I came with a game plan that I wasn't going to fish grass, I wasn't going to fish the bank, I was going to fish offshore, I was going to fish the way I wanted to, but figure out what depth range the fish were in and let them tell me how they could be caught. Early in my career, I would go out and force things. If I wanted to crank, if I had the preconceived notion that you come to Texas, you crank and throw a Carolina rig, that's all I would have done for practice. I changed it up and just went out there with an open mind, and the last 2 years, looking back at it, I can really see that's really catapulted my career, is just an open mind and willingness to adapt. Winning the last regular season event of the Bass Pro Tour last year at St. Clair, and then coming here and winning this one, that's just really special. In this, you have to stay focused, you have to stay hungry, and that's what fishing's all about. It's having the momentum, having the drive, working harder than everybody else, and going out there and catching bass. For a long time, I didn't know if I was ever going to win a tournament, but now I've won 2 pretty much back to back. To do that in both trails, and much less circle back right where I came from, back to the pro circuit and win one, that's just unbelievable.
Thanks to our great crew out there. For Marty Stone, JT Kenny, I'm Chad McKee. We will talk to you next time on the Tackle Warehouse Pro Circuit, presented by Fuel Me.